Hey everyone, welcome to an on-site version of the Unscripted show. My name is Nathan Coutinho, and today I am honored to have Sheena Vojta from CDW. Sheena, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
So tell us a little bit about your background, what you do at CDW, because I'm sure our audience would love to know.
Yeah, so I'm currently a director at CDW in our digital experience practice. That includes things like workspace, mobile device management. It includes desktop virtualization, collaboration, contact center. The list goes on. It's a pretty diverse group.
That's quite a bit.
It is.
That's quite a bit. Okay, so tell me about, you've had a really great career at CDW already. And obviously we used to work together, so I know that firsthand. But tell us how you got to where you are, because you're obviously in a really great leadership position. You get to do a lot of great things at CDW. Walk us through the process of how you kind of got there.
Yeah, I think the key to it is that I felt like in my career almost all the time that when given an opportunity, it was my responsibility to say yes, even if it made me incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And even like going back to the beginning of my career where I started as a receptionist for an executive search firm, and they got a phone system and they didn't know how to work it. And my dad worked for AT&T.
That's right.
And so he sent me a toner and a butt set and a punch down tool, and he taught me how to use those things to run the phone system. And that was the beginning of me deciding to say yes to things and try things that made me uncomfortable. Luckily enough, I was able to come to CDW after a number of years of working at different executive search firms. And I did the same thing. You know, I got really good at my job, first as a partner specialist and solution architect.
Yep.
Which I loved and really got to be part of a great team and got to find areas of opportunity, not just for myself, but for the practice to get better, and used my voice to suggest things. And then I was pushed a bit, which was a good thing for me because I might have been more complacent had I not been pushed and stayed a solution architect. But I had people who saw something in me and then allowed me to see that in myself.
Yeah.
And CDW has a program called the Emerging Leaders Program.
Mm-hmm.
And so after about, 8 years at CDW, I did that program. And that's really a way to enhance your network, learn some leadership skills, tackle a hard problem that needs solving for the company. And then from there, I did LEAP, which is an interview process to be able to be on the bench to be a leader. So there's several steps you take in order to be in that position. I, again, was lucky, though, because I had people who believed in me and people who thought that I had value in that space. And that caused me to continue to believe those things in myself. And so my first leadership job was leading inside solution architects in the practice I had been part of.
Yep.
So leading my peers, which was interesting. And then 6 months into it, I got a brand new team still within the practice. To me, that felt like a gift because all of the things that you go through when you have a new role, and particularly an elevated role like a leadership role,
right?
You don't always make the best decisions because it's your first time going through. And so the gift was having a new team. So I took all the things I learned in that first 6 months and figured out what things worked well for me, how to lead from a place of authenticity for myself and garner respect and results. Yeah. And so it was great. And then I was working for you. And that was also awesome. And
you survived.
I did. I actually learned a ton. You were a real gift as a leader for me. I really wouldn't even be comfortable on this podcast without your leadership. You pushed me to be, more out there than I probably wanted to be. And I appreciated it.
So hang on one second. So the problem is I was actually really nervous today. So it's funny that you said that you used to be nervous. So I just want to unpack one thing over there because you said a lot of great things. But one thing I think I also had the same experience with is I did a lot of projects actually at CDW that I didn't feel comfortable doing. And a lot of people said, listen, you're going to learn a lot by doing this. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I want to go run cables or something technical. And they're like, no, you need to expand your horizons. You need to work for a different manager. So I do like the fact that CDW has given me, and clearly you as well, that opportunity to be able to excel like that.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that CDW is really great at. In fact, I just was actually talking with a woman this morning who is going to be interviewing for a director job, and we were going through some of her answers, and she's doing a fabulous job, and it got me to thinking about like all the opportunities that CDW will give you if you're willing to take them. And it's been such a wonderful thing to be able to do that with some of my peer women and people of color inside the organization, which has been really fabulous.
So that's really great, Sheena. I mean, that's a fantastic story around what you've been able to achieve. So, we get a lot of questions from other females, other leaders, even males for that matter. So what advice would you give them, especially younger female leaders that want to get into management, want to go the extra mile and kind of, basically say, listen, they want the opportunities. How do I get there? How do I get noticed? Yeah. So what are your thoughts on how people can do that? What would be your advice?
Yeah, I think first, be really good at what you do. Just lean into that. Be as good at what you do as you can. And then be a great listener. When you have an opportunity to be in meetings or on projects with people who are either in elevated positions or have something to offer that you don't already know, be a great listener and incorporate that into how you think about yourself.
I feel like you're talking to me directly about things that I need to improve about myself, but I'll let you keep going.
I really wasn't. But I think doing that and then identifying there's always area for improvement inside any organization, inside any team.
Sure.
And if you're really good at your job and you're a really good listener, you can help to identify those things. And then don't be afraid to take them on. Don't be afraid to try.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And then, like I said at the beginning, which I really feel like this is true, you have to say yes. You're going to be put in uncomfortable positions that you don't know if you're ready for, or you may not yet believe in yourself for. Don't let that stop you from trying.
Yeah.
If you do that, you will be noticed and you will create opportunities for yourself.
That's great.
BRGs.
Yeah. So another thing I think is a great resource are these emerging leader groups or BRGs. And I know you've had lots of experience with that. So a lot of organizations, maybe they aren't easy to find, but a lot of organizations have these leadership groups that you can learn and public speak and stuff like that. So I'll talk a little bit about that because I think that's another really great avenue for most people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I know a lot of organizations have leadership programs that you can go into like CDW does, but BRGs are really a gift, a business resource group. We have a number of them at CDW that offer different ways for you to get involved with things that matter to you.
Yeah.
I'm part of Women's Opportunity Network, or WON. And with that group, I've had an opportunity to be influential and participate for things like women in technology, elevating engineers to have a voice outside of the work that they do with customers.
Sure.
Or different groups where we've had a chance to do speaking engagements and talk about the value of public speaking. Remind me of the presentation that goes 5 minutes and is just slides and you have to work your way through it. Do you remember this?
You're talking about Battle Decks?
No, they were only images on the slides. And
yeah, I can't remember. We have a similar thing that we've done a couple of times. It's called Battle Decks.
Yeah, and it's basically you have 5 minutes worth of images. The image changes every 30 seconds, and you have something that you're going to talk about that leads you into this. We did that as part of the Women's Opportunity Network, and while it's difficult to prepare for, it is really rewarding when you do it because the people in the audience are truly listening to you because they have nothing to read.
Right.
And so that was a great exercise that BRGs led me to as well that helped with my public speaking.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sheena, for being here today. And that's it, folks. We have another episode of Unscripted. And again, thank you so much, Sheena, for being here.
Thank you, Nathan, for having me. This was an awesome experience.
Thanks, everyone.